start. Here's the point breakdown. 9 points for a win, 6 for second, only 6 cars scoring points, and we'll show you 6 positions in our standings throughout our telecast today. Again, we are live at the Renaissance Center in Detroit, and we are in the first of the 64 laps. This is the formation lap, and they'll be pulling up to the line for that dramatic moment. Probably nothing in sport equals that moment when 100,000 plus become totally quiet and these engines sing their great song.
Also, something interesting here is you don't see them weaving so much as they do in, say, IndyCar racing. The main reason is they use a blanket that preheats the tire before the start of the race. So they've already got their tire temperature up, and we should see a good start here.
Temperature in the 80s, and the wind is extremely brisk. Here you see them coming online under starters' orders now. That wind going to be a factor, gentlemen?
I don't think the wind will be a factor here, but the wind is bringing with it cloud. It may rain later on.
Field about to go under the lights. When they all come to a halt, there'll be a 4-second delay. And ladies and gentlemen, the commencement of a Grand Prix. Detroit Grand Prix is underway. Senna jumps out in front. That is Senna jumping in front of Nigel Mansell in second place around the hairpin. Senna is first. Mansell is in second.
And that's René Arnoux in third. Made a great start too. Those two cars going around there side by side. One of them was one of the McLarens.
Right. Also, interesting, Arnoux was second quickest in the morning warm-up, so he should provide some good action.
I think that's very significant. The morning warm-up is a very significant time of practice, and Arnoux did go well this morning on full tank.
Somebody else I've noticed who's made a good start is Eddie Cheever in the Lola Ford, so he's going well. He also goes very well at this track.
He goes well here, and of course he's the only real American in the race, so I'm sure a lot of people are going to be there. It's Eddie Cheever in the red car with the red helmet.
Eddie Cheever driving for Patrick Tambay, injured a week ago prior to the race in Montreal. Chris Economaki has this report.
Well, we just find out on pit road here that Nigel Mansell is starting this race on the hardest Goodyear tires available, which means he can try and go without a tire stop. Back to you.
Senna in first, Mansell in second, Arnoux in third, Piquet in fourth as the race goes through its second lap.
Senna just locking up there as he came into the sharp hairpin leading onto the Atwater tunnel. There they're trying to get past him under the bridge there. Mansell having a go in the gloom under the bridge.
I think this is exactly what Nigel wants. Is Senna, if he's on a little softer tires, he's going to push Senna a little bit, and hopefully his tires and not having to make a pit stop will help him.
The Ferrari of Stefan Johansson has pulled up into the 5th position. Remember, he ran here very well a year ago. The red car is the Ferrari, which has not been having a good year. So the second lap is complete.
Eddie Cheever going very well as they passed the box here. He was up to 9th place in the Lola Ford.
Eddie Cheever, who came in late, and the first day just said he was about 15 feet behind the car through the entire practice period. But he certainly gathered it up and out-qualified his teammate Alan Jones by a pretty big margin to come into this race.
That front 5 there, it could be just slightly possible that Senna's holding them all up a little bit. I don't know. There's the McLaren of Prost is catching up with that group to be covering his pit spot. There he is. And right behind him is in fact Jacques Lafitte in the other, Ryan Ligier.
And I think somebody who looks like he wants to have a bit of a go is Stefan Johansson in the Ferrari. He's making an attempt on Piquet right there, but
Arnoux in the blue and white car, the Ligier, off to a good start this season, running in third. Winner of 7 Grand Prix, only ran 1 Grand Prix. He's challenging Mansell a bit here.
He certainly is.
Just ran Brazil last year and then was retired by Ferrari. I think better word is fired.
This is one place, of course, where it's no good letting exuberance. Heart cannot rule overhead here because there's just no room for error. And you've got to be very smooth and very controlled the whole time. Sort of like you guys at Indianapolis, I would imagine. You know?
That's right, particularly at this stage of the race, because everything is going to settle down and sort itself out.
It's a long way to go. no good trying to win it in the first lap. There's Nelson Piquet, Nigel's teammate, being pressed hard there by, in fact, Eddie Cheever, is it?
No, that's Stefan Johansson.
Okay. Johansson in the Ferrari. Stefan Johansson, who came into that team a year ago.
And Nigel's got him on the front straight.
Nigel Mansell taking over in first as they came down the main straightaway, about the fastest part of the course. Senna drops into second position, and challenging now is Arnoux. You see those sparks coming off the car. They're still under a full fuel load here, and the tray's dragging.
That's right. It's not actually a tray. They have titanium skid blocks that are under there to keep the bottom of the car off there. And when it hits, it just throws up a spark. We'll see more of that now, but as the fuel load lightens, we won't get quite as much spark. And of course, that's banned in IndyCar racing because they think it's dangerous for the driver behind them.
I don't think it's very dangerous, but it certainly looks pretty spectacular, and it's just one way of keeping these cars run really low without wearing the bottom of the car out. Second and third place cars, the Lotus of Senna and the Ligier of Arnoux, have both got the Renault engine, so there's Senna really trying to hold them out, weaving down that straight to hold Arnoux out. That's playing slightly dirty pool, really.
At this stage of the game, that's a little rough because, you know, we're 3 laps into it or 2 laps into it. It's too early.
There's Arnoux making another stab. Coming to Cobo Hall.
There's going to be some wheels off here if we're not careful before long, because Arnoux's not going to put up with that for long.
Senna was off there a year ago, that very area of the track.
But I think something interesting is René Arnoux is a very tough driver, and he is not going to put up with that for long, not at this stage of the race.
The trouble here is that if either of them do make a mistake, they're going to be both out of the race just like that.
Right. And the other thing is that Nigel Mansell's loving all of this because, of course, they're battling and letting him get away from everybody.
Getting away from them and everybody else as well.
There's that strap going on for second position. Alan Jones, who qualified 21st, is now up to 14th. Jones in that Carl Haas car.
Also, we just noticed, too, that Keke Rosberg had moved up past Eddie Cheever. And I think Eddie's really concentrating on having a good, steady race and finishing.
Live from Detroit here on CBS. The Detroit Grand Prix, 5th year, and the battle is for second position. One car pulling on Derek Warwick with the problem. That very low car, lowest Formula One car out. They're talking about reducing the horsepower on these cars, trying to slow them down. And team owner Bernie Ecclestone said, I have a solution. We'll give them all my new cars. There's Warwick in quickly and back out again.
Now, he's changed his rear tires. He told me before the race that he was going to start on the hardest rear tires that Pirelli could give him, because he wanted to try and do the race without a stop. I guess he realized they were too hard and it just weren't good.
And there is, I think, De Cesare, who is in trouble here. Either he or Nannini pulled off the course, and he's gone in behind some of the barriers around this course. Those block barriers, you see, those concrete barriers, they had a rent-a-block deal this year. You could buy a block or rent it for a week for $500. A terrific bargain. Put your name on it. Message to your
Nigel Mansell, talking about terrific bargains. Nigel Mansell's got a terrific bargain at the moment, too, with those other two twerps scrapping it out there in second spot.
And not only that, but the group behind him, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th place is now closed up.
That was turn 3. There you see it as to where that incident took place that took out one of the minority cars.
That red spot.
That red spot.
In fact, it's the one on the end of your nose again.
Here's Barrie Gill.
Well, Ken, that's a pit stop we didn't expect. Derek Warwick, driving his second race for Brabham, overcooked his tyres at the start of the race, has come in to change all 4, and it only took 9.5 seconds. Back to you, Ken.
Barry, they were talking about a brake problem here today, and it appears that the Lotus seems to be working very well under full power. When it gets in these corners, it's not operating as well, and Arnoux catches him up.
Yes, but the interesting thing here, Ken, too, is both of them have the same type of engine. They're both under Renault power. And we were just watching on that straightaway. It seemed like Senna pulled out on the straightaway.
He could be using more boost, of course. They have cockpit controllable boost, but that's where they have these. They have their readout gauges now to tell them how much boost they can or cannot use.
That's right. I'm not surprised if Mansell turned his up just to get by him once he got his tires up to temperature.
He's never going to get such a clear track as this, because in another 10 or 15 laps they're going to be starting to lap traffic, and Nigel just won't have the clear run he's got at the moment.
Senna stays second in car number 12. Had a tremendous battle with Nigel Mansell in Brazil, first race of the year, and Nigel came out the loser. Nigel losing a tire there. Senna was then defeated by Piquet in round 1. Then they went on to Spain, and it was the Senna car that came home first for his third and last Grand Prix victory. Right now, his adversary through several races, they had a real brouhaha in Adelaide, Australia last year, is in second place, and there's Arnoux continuing to challenge as they come to the Atwater Tunnel.
Yes, and of course Nigel has to be loving all of this because he's just getting away and he's not using very much road and probably not putting very much pressure on the car. Would you think, Dave?
Well, it's certainly giving him a much easier run than he ever imagined he'd get. He's got a pretty substantial lead already. And Senna is really making life incredibly difficult for René Arnoux in third spot.
There's Prost, and right behind him comes Alboreto, followed by Rosberg as we look a little further back. That is 7th, 8th, and the 9th position you saw there.
And I believe Gerhard Berger's moved past Eddie Cheever. Berger, of course, has that very colorful Benetton car. And if you notice that the wheels, the sides of the wheels are all painted in various colors.
We'll get a shot of that later. Designer wheels in Formula One racing this year.
Designer
tires.
The one thing, now we've got designer tires as well. There's Eddie Cheever coming up the hill.
Cheever's making a great run of it today.